Hey, good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing? Okay, we're gonna see what kind of group we have today. But good morning, welcome to the Branding and Marketing Masterclass. My name is Jared Rains, and really my goal for today for you guys is for you to have a pretty comprehensive understanding of what it takes to build a captivating and aligned brand with you guys' targeted audience. If we can knock that out the park, that is my main mission for you guys today. We're gonna be talking about some of the foundational elements that you need as far as marketing, positioning, and branding goes. But before we get started, I do have a question. I want to make this as interactive as possible. But before we get going, I have a question. I want you guys to think about your most prominent. Think of your best customer. They don't complain about price. They show up on time. They don't give you any objections. I want you to think about that customer. Probably wish we had 10 more of these with whatever product or service that we offer, right? I want you to think about how that customer would describe you. Take a second, think about that. What would that customer say when they come in contact with your brand? How would they describe your product or your service, or what it's like doing business with you? And now I want you to think about your social media channels, your website, any place that you show up online or where a prospect can encounter your brand. Does it communicate that same message? I want you to think about that, okay? I'm not even gonna ask anybody to answer the question. I just want you to have that in the back of your mind. Your best prospect, your best customer, what they have to say about you. Does all of your customer touch points communicate that same message? Let's think about that. So today's agenda, the first hour, we got 2 hours. I got you for 2 hours. The first half, we're going to be spending on actually building out some of the foundational pillars, the tools, equipping you with the tools that you need to actually apply this towards your business. The second piece of it is going to be the application part of it. We're going to have a real fun interactive segment where you're going to get to do this live with the help of myself, help of Chelsea, as well as the counterparts within the room to go out and do this for your own respective businesses or some made up businesses that we have for you guys, okay? So that's how today is gonna go. The credibility piece. Love this part. Why should you listen to me? Why am I up here in front of you today? This is what I do. This is, for anybody that doesn't know me, my name is Jared Rains. I am the founder and owner of Signature Style Media. We are a full stack digital marketing agency, primarily focused in video. So we are a video marketing agency based here in Dallas, helping local service businesses just like yourself 3x the return on investment using video acquisition systems. A little bit of my personal story. So my original, I actually didn't go to school for this. This is my second career. My original background is in accounting and finance. I'm 33 years old. I've spent 27 years of my life here in Dallas, Texas. The other 6 was in Raleigh, North Carolina. But I graduated from the University of North Texas with my master's in accounting. So this is a big pivot for myself, I would say, but it's one that I've been able to kind of couple a lot of the skills and the background that I've accumulated over the course of my professional career, and doing it every day in ways that I absolutely wholeheartedly love. So a little bit about kind of how I got to where I am today. But the biggest thing that you should probably pay attention to is that we have done over 1,000. I've been in business now for 4 years, full time, and we've had over 1,000 discovery calls with local service businesses just like yourself. Why that's important is because we have our ear to the community. This is not hearsay. This is practical, real life experience of things that we have heard, things that we've been in contact with. These are the real world problems and issues that other local service businesses just like yourself have experienced in building their business. And the first thing I want to talk about is kind of dispelling some overall notions of marketing and branding. So I actually want to back up a little bit. When we talk about marketing and branding, what are the very first things that come to your mind? Who wants to jump us off? When we think of marketing and branding, what do you all think of? What comes to mind? Logo? Website? Social media?
Your visual identity.
Visual identity. Okay. Anybody else? Feeling. That's different. Now, that's a little interesting. You're kind of cheating because you've already been in one of the segments, but feeling. Notice that a lot of them, we got website, logo, social media. Those aren't bad answers. They're not bad answers at all. Rocco, you had a different answer, one that's fundamentally different from a lot of the other ones that were within the group. Why is that?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like you hit on, like what comes to mind when an owner thinks of your business or your best client thinks of your business.
Mm-hmm.
That's the feel that's associated with it.
Yeah.
If they had a bad encounter or a bad experience,
Mm-hmm.
that feeling is not as great, so that brand is tarnished. But if the exact opposite exists, then your brand looks elevated in their eyes.
I love it. I love it. There are no bad answers that we just got, but I do want to change the fundamental notion and belief of how we look at and view marketing and branding. It's not your logo, guys. It's not your website. And I want to be clear here. This is all for educational purposes. We're all here to learn. We're all here to get better today, including myself. It's not your logo. It's not your color palette. I know I get excited about a good color palette. That's just me, myself. I love it. I love when I get to design the visual identity of a brand. That's one of my favorite parts of starting is like, how can we make this visually look like what this brand is supposed to represent? But guys, that's not your brand. Okay? Keep that in the back of your mind as we progress through this lecture. The businesses that understand the person they serve more deeply than anyone else, these are the businesses that win. And that piece is extremely important because notice that it started with people. It started with the person, understanding who the audience is. How many of us have said, oh man, we're wondering about whether I have the technical skills to carry out what it is that it takes to run a business, right? Guys, this is a people skill. There's something fundamentally, inherently within us that each and every last one of us has as human beings to just connect with one other person as humans. Marketing and branding starts with people skills. And it starts with understanding what problem do you actually solve. I want to hear from the people in here. I want to hear about all you guys' different industries. Let us know. Let's do this very briefly. Just kind of go through and introduce yourselves as far as tell us your name, tell us your business, and then tell us what industry that you're in. We'll start here in the back left. Lucky you.
Hello, my name is Bianca. I'm an artist. Be my past with my artist name. I'm moving into a production company space where I already do a lot of corporate weddings and solo stuff, trio stuff, but I like to market it to more luxury side. And so the problem I'm solving.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. No, you're good. Yeah, just your name and just kind of what your business is, kind of what industry you're in. So, and it was Bianca, artist, huh? Love it. Looking to transition into the production space?
Yes.
Got you.
You would pick on me.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm playing. Hi, I'm Callie Rogers Smith. I am the owner of Kelly Ray Creative, and I help with events and businesses elevate their photography and graphic design.
Awesome. Good.
How you doing? My name is Darius, and we're in the transportation industry as far as, and also with prime, like, packaging type of business.
Love it. Okay, you in here. You took the easy one out. I got you. Here in the back right.
My name is Patrice, and I am a digital marketer.
Okay.
And I am hoping to start a business.
Awesome. Aspiring. Love it. We'll do a zigzag. Let's go, Rocco.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rocco. I direct the M&A firm, so we help to sell businesses and help to franchise those businesses.
Awesome.
Hi everyone, I'm Nancy. I'm a makeup artist.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi everyone, I'm Natalie. I own South Beach Beauty Bar, which is a hair and makeup. We specialize in bridals and quinceañeras, photos.
Love it.
Good morning, everyone. This is MD. I work on cybersecurity, so helping the business to implement or insider trade and DLP systems.
Said insider trading?
DLP, like data security protection, like those things.
Okay.
I'm working on that.
Okay.
And also the insider trade, like those kind of
Sure.
kind of with the company. Just
Okay. Awesome. Awesome.
Hello, my name is Shay Galakai Alfred. I'm in the health and life and government contracting industry.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. All
Hi,
right.
my name is Marie. I'm
Love the
in
versatility.
health, most importantly, assisted living, and I have services for the elderly.
Awesome. Also, if you, we're just introducing ourselves. Thank you for joining us. Just your name, business, and kind of, briefly, kind of what you do.
Okay, so we don't have to answer.
No, you don't have to answer this. Not right now.
Okay. My name is Dorothy Enriquez. I run a leadership and culture consultancy, and primarily I work with corporate, nonprofit, and government. And okay, I don't have to be that.
Not right now.
Question?
That's it for right now. You're good. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hello, I'm Megan. I'm in the B.I.D industry. I own a mobile salon, so we go to elders, hospitals, retirement facilities, and we do catering as far as wellness events, teacher appreciation days, things of that sort.
Okay. I love it. I love the versatility in the room. We got creatives, fashion, health, technology and IT, transportation, government. I love it. We got some pretty good versatility in here. That is impressive. Okay, we're gonna run through this one more time, you guys. This time, we're gonna be answering this question. Now with this question, what I don't want run-ons. That is the challenge. I want to preface with this. It is okay, guys. We're all here to learn. I know they can kind of be a bit intimidating sometimes as far as being able to describe things, but that's what we're here to do today, to get better collectively with one another, okay? So I want you guys to take the best stab at what problem do you guys solve? Starting back left.
In my experience, there aren't a lot of the quality of the luxury events I think could be upgraded, and also there aren't a lot of people that look like me in the space, so I'd like to kind of focus.
Okay.
For me, even though there are a lot of event photographers, there are not a lot of people that actually speak to elevating their event photography. I say that because there are a lot of people in events that look like now that kind of look like me, but don't have the experience, don't have a decade's worth of experience or more in actually providing event photography that sells and helps with elevating their events in the future. And the same thing with branding. That was one of the common problems that I saw, especially for Black-owned businesses, that they don't have branding, photography, and design that sells. So my problem is to not only help with elevating the identity of businesses and events, something that two things I'm both very passionate about, but also to help them sell.
Awesome. Awesome.
All right, so we're here to solve gaps with deliveries, pinpoint delivery, and with accountability, make sure we streamline, make the customer feel good about the packages and security, and being conspicuous as far as delivering confidential information, things that make
Blend in. You gotta blend in. I love it. I love it. Okay. Good job. Good job. Yeah, I caught that one. I caught that one. I know you said you were an aspiring. You're welcome to skip if you want to, or do you kind of want to? Yeah, please.
I've helped organizations like clarify their visual identity, build conversion-focused websites, and create platform marketing campaigns that actually move people to act. So I've sat in sales and admin and creative seats. And so I'm pretty good at spotting where the message, the funnel, or the process is leaking. And
Awesome. We're in very similar spaces, so might be a little tough on you. That's fine. Rocco.
Yeah, so we help people to get the most out of their business. So whether they're selling, we help to negotiate the highest price for their business, or if they're expanding, we help to take them nationwide and sometimes internationally through franchising.
Awesome.
We make them feel better doing things.
Okay.
They're quinceañeras.
Mm.
We help them relax before they go and get married.
Okay, awesome. Natalie?
I wrote down, I bring peace of mind, I create trust, and relieve stress, and make people feel confident in their best.
Love it. Easy, to the point.
So my most problem is the compliance, really make sure we follow all the directions. Since I'm also working on the government contract, so the law compliance and compliance, really also the user can use the work free. Low memory use, low CPU use, not the high CPU use of the software.
Okay. Awesome.
So since I'm in the life insurance, I saw awareness and options that they're not so much spoken about space, which leads to better financial outcomes, alternatives.
Awesome.
I would end that I provide solution to the elderly by providing a transition from home into a community, giving that peace of mind to their children and stuff.
Sure.
But I want them to continue to have a private life in a community.
Love it.
We solved the internal bandwidth issue regarding being able to have flexible solutions at every portion of the employee life cycle with leadership solutions and culture work.
Okay.
We bring the spot to you, so we solve the accessibility and convenience gap.
Okay.
As far as no salons and bars.
Love it. Okay. All right. A bunch of rock stars in the space today. Can anybody share with me what they thought were kind of commonalities amongst the answers? Can anybody kind of pinpoint majority of, I guess, the commonalities in each person's response or answer?
We have a service.
I'm sorry?
We're serving.
Serving. Okay. You guys are close, warm, I would say. Anything else? We got awards too that we're handing out, but we're gonna use those very, very sparingly to kind of incentivize you guys. So go ahead.
Framing it from the client or customer's perspective.
That's good marketing, I'll tell you that much. What I noticed was majority of the responses were tactical. All logistical. There were a couple that had emotions tied to it. Makeup space. I think you mentioned something kind of in the elderly space. When you solve problems, guys, one of the biggest problems and pain points are here and here. Logistics are great, but they're surface level. People don't make decisions when they feel surface level stuff. People make decisions when they feel pain. Very, very few answers that tapped into the actual emotions of what somebody feels, which is how you solve problems. Rocco, what's it like being in the M&A space when somebody a boomer who's been in business for 40 years doesn't have kids who want to inherit the business, and he's got to find an alternative to that? What's that like?
Stressful, I guess. They feel like they don't have a succession plan and they need someone to come in, and especially if they're having some health issues, and it's urgent. So we got to come in and basically be lifesavers, and we're running against the clock. We've had some sellers that actually passed away like the day before closing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like that urgent. So yeah, seriously.
That is a completely different message than what we just heard. Wedding space. How many in here are married? How many in here had weddings? Was that a stressful day for you guys? How many of y'all were worried about hair, makeup, how you look, dress? You the only exception in this one, huh? Gotta have them. Everybody, huh? For the most part, almost everybody, huh? Guys, that is what you want to harp on. That is what your messaging and your branding and your marketing needs to touch on. Logistics are great, but it doesn't cause anybody to do anything. You don't feel anything from that. You want marketing and branding to move people, to drive transformation, to drive results. That piece of it is what you need in your marketing material. I appreciate everybody for sharing as well. We're going to skip this example just for the sake of time, but I do want to take the time out to really think about, get really clear on what problem it is that you're solving. Think deeper than just the surface level parts of it. Because it's easy for us to get up here and just say, oh, we solve, and just get into the tactics. We provide hair and makeup services on wedding day. We ensure compliance for our clients. We help facilitate M&A deals. Let's get deeper. Every business today exists to solve a problem. I want you guys to find comfort in that statement alone. Every single business that is in existence today solves a particular problem. The more that you can know and understand what problem it is that you solve in the marketplace, the more valuable you become. Bonus tip, solve big problems in marketplaces, get paid big dollars. The more money, the bigger the problem that you can solve, the more money that you can make. And the clearer that you are on that problem you solve, the more valuable you'll be in the marketplace. As we just kind of discussed, you may have an understanding kind of what problem that you solve, but it's not at the granular, deeper underlying level that it needs to be at. We want to get to that. We want to get to the root. So what we covered, to recap, every business solves a problem. The deeper you understand it, the more valuable. Most people describe the surface problem, as we just proved in real time. And your one sentence problem statement is the foundation that everything else is built on. If you can nail that bottom piece of it, every single thing else from your marketing and branding is easy. Everything flows downstream from there. So, I'm sorry?
Can you go back there?
Oh, I got you. Every single thing, when you get really clear on that one sentence problem, everything flows downstream from there. So how do we actually get to the point of who are we talking to? Who is our customer? That is the primary piece that, again, everything flows downstream from. How do we actually go about that piece of it? Anybody want to share? How do we go about this? Nailing down and understanding exactly who it is that we're talking to.
Maybe creating an ideal customer profile and avatar.
What is that?
Is creating ideally like the one person that you're talking to.
Okay.
So that you they almost feel like you're reading their diary or following them around. And like where they live, what they do, what their actual title is, what they say they're most likely to work, what they might be doing on social media, what keeps them up at night,
awesome.
What is their vitamin versus their painkiller, so that you can be a painkiller and not a vitamin, in detail.
Oh, let's go. Pass that back to her if you don't mind. Yeah.
I never win.
Nailed it. Your ICP, there's a couple of names from Ideal Client Avatar, ICP, Ideal Client Profile. There's a few names that you can have, but the only takeaway that I want you to have from it is this is your fake, made-up person that you can identify with and pinpoint. Julie. It's good to give them a name. Julie is your person. You give them a name.
She got 2 kids.
You give them, seriously, this is the one piece that was a game changer for my business. And I used to always think to myself, like, what do people mean by ideal client avatar? This is how you get really specific on what problem that you solve.
So, one of the things I have, by the way, my name is Malcolm Davis.
I'm sorry, man, I forgot.
It's okay, no, I'm here.
My apologies, yeah.
I present for the B.I.D Academy Dallas. And one of the things, I have a healthcare background, and so in terms of defining your ideal client, ideal demographic, whatnot, if you think about the way pharmaceutical sales companies market to a patient type, and it just, so it describes exactly, if you look at their commercials, you look at everything, they paint a picture of who they're trying to target. Because when they go see the doctor is trying to ascertain exactly all of their characteristics. 50-year-old male, maybe comorbid, diabetes, triglycerides, so on and so forth, because it makes it easy to figure out which drug to prescribe. And then the drug companies, the pharmaceutical sales companies, the Pfizer's of the world, on the other side of the equation, they understand that and they market directly to that patient type. So when you go see your cardiologist, when you go see your family practice doctor, you go see your OBGYN, they have a patient type that you fit into. They have a box or that you fit into, or a category you fit into, so they know the exact types of medications to start with, in addition to obviously some of your metabolic profile. So in terms of thinking about who your target ideal avatar is, or whatever vernacular you want to use, it's easy to kind of use the pharmaceutical sales example, because you can see usually who they're marketing to.
Love it, love it. Appreciate you sharing. I'll even take that a step further. How many of us have those apps on the phones that you spend X amount, you get something back, get points back, gas, that sort of, go to a grocery store? How many of us have those apps on our phone? Y'all know why they're on your phone, right? I mean, I know we understand why they're on our phone as far as savings purposes, but you guys know why the companies put that in place. It's data. Companies are paying billions of dollars to track, know, and understand your consumer behaviors and patterns. You may think to yourself and say, why would somebody pay me $10 just for my groceries? I'll take the $10. Their return on investment is absolutely insane, because that gives them the insight that they need to be able to make internal decisions, to be able to make marketing and sales decisions, all based off your behavior. If that doesn't tell you how important it is to understand who it is that you're marketing to, I'm not sure what will. So how do we actually do that? First thing that she mentioned, we talk about demographics. To me, this is the boring stuff. This is I'm 55 years old, I got 2 kids, I make about $85,000 a year. Boring stuff, but still essential. It's quantitative data, guys. Know and understand, you gotta know the numbers of your business, know the numbers of your audience profile as well. How old are they? How much do they make? Where do they live at? What is their average household income? How often do they move? It's the quantitative data that you need to know regarding your customers. Solely just based off of this, you can't do a ton, because they're just numbers. Numbers do not mean much if you can't dive into the actual psychology and context for those numbers. It's very similar to the logistic pieces that we just mentioned when describing what we do. This is where I want you guys to live. Demographics describe, psychographics explain. This is the real underlying piece right here. What are their fears? What are their frustrations? What keeps them up at night? What are they struggling with? What is the dream vacation for them as far as where do they want to go? What do they believe? If you don't have this information here, you cannot effectively market. You're guessing. If you do not know this layer right here, you are throwing something at the wall and you're hoping something sticks. Combine these two as a collective, you can take over the world with any product or any service. I'll leave it up here for a second. Chelsea, what time do we have till? I just want to make sure I'm being mindful. Are we going to? 115, cool.
What do you mean by language they use?
I'm sorry?
The language they use.
Okay. Let me give you an example. Rocco and myself are a part of a networking organization called B.I.D. I originally started out as the president of a startup chapter in South Dallas. About 6 months later, I transitioned to what we call a Hall of Fame Showcase chapter, which has more participants, more members of the chapter, right? And the very first thing that I noticed when I made that transition was they talk completely different. People in the startup chapter, even in their marketing introductory moments, oftentimes are stumbling over their words, couldn't really describe what it is that they do. They conducted themselves a certain way, much in line with somebody who is a beginner or a novice in the space. When I transitioned to the Showcase Hall of Fame chapter, everybody's marketing moment went like this. Everybody was dialed. When you get really clear on who your particular profile is, your avatar, you will start to notice recurring patterns, how they talk, phrases they say. It's no different than if you go to a golf course. You know why they call them polos? That's what you're gonna wear at the golf course. Go to the golf course, everybody's wearing polos. You will notice these patterns over time. And what's powerful about that is because, I hate to use this word, but you can exploit it in terms of marketing and branding. When you know how somebody is going to show up, when you know what somebody believes in, doesn't that make it easy to sell to them? If I know what triggers you, that seems to me like the biggest cheat code or life hack that you could have. Everybody wants to preach life hacks and cheat codes. That's the cheat code. Knowing what somebody values, what their fears are, what their aspirations are, what they care about, and leveraging that against them or giving them what they want, that's the cheat code. That's what I mean by language they use. The before state and the after state, extremely important. This boils down into that psychographic layer that we talked about beforehand. What are the problems that your prospect is struggling with before they come in contact with your product or your service? Where are they at? What are their struggles and challenges? What are their hesitations, their objections? That even makes sales easier. When I know what your hesitations are beforehand, guess what I can do now? I can create content that removes hesitations before you even talk to me. How many of us have went on a website looking for a particular question? I need this answer. I better see everybody's hand go up. Every last one of us has gone to a website searching for an answer. Now contrast that with somebody who answers your question before you even think to ask it. You didn't even know it was a question beforehand. This is why understanding your audience is so important. Because when you can introduce that into your marketing, you're removing friction, which prevents people from doing business with you before they even encounter it. So we talk about the before state, the after state. What does it look like after you have equipped them with whatever product or service that you provide? How do they feel after the fact? That's equally as important as the before state. Bonus tip. Before state, after state, your product or service is the bridge in the middle. We call this the destination island. Sell them the dream home vacation. Your product or service has to be able to take them there. If you can bridge that gap effectively, you can print millions. Before, chaos and guessing. You don't know who your ideal client is. It feels like you're getting on top of the mountaintop and just yelling at any and everybody that'll pay you any mind. I know plenty of us have encountered this before. I'm attracting the wrong people. I don't like the clients that I'm getting. It's in your marketing and your branding. find homeless people in a Louis Vuitton store. They don't even think to go in. It applies to so many layers of life. Your brand will serve as a repellent before it serves as an attraction. Want to build a brand a brand that is attractive and magnetic? Build a brand that repels before it even attracts. We're not for you. There are certain decisions based off where you are in life where you say, you know what, I ain't even thinking about this. I can't think about a Mercedes. I ain't gonna show up to a dealership. I show up to a Mercedes dealer, they say, hey, we got a sister company we want to refer you to. You might want to check out Acura. It's real. Your brand should be repelling before you attract. The after is just crystal clarity and magnetism. It becomes like fishing on ease, guys. Knowing where your fish hangs out at, what kind of bait they like, where they're gonna be active at what time of the day, and all you gotta do is throw a line out there and catch whatever comes up. And knowing that it's gonna be a specific type of fish every single time. What I love about that is if you have a specific offer, now your revenue numbers start to become predictable. If you got a $2,000 offer and just say, hey, I just need 5 of these. And if I can throw this line out into this particular lake at this particular time using this particular bait, I'm gonna go home when I get 5 fishes. And I'm set for the month. That's where you wanna get to. When you know your ICA deeply enough, your marketing stops being a net and starts being a magnet. Here's briefly what we captured. Demographics tell you who you are, who they are. Psychographics tell you what they need. The before state and the after state are the real story your marketing should sell, being that bridge. When you know your ICA deeply, your marketing becomes a magnet, not a net. All right, we talked about kind of what branding, what we thought branding was at the beginning piece of it. Now we're gonna actually get into a little bit of kind of what it is. So I'm gonna skip this example for the sake of time. But I love this quote here. Actually, in one of them, Chelsea, I forget her name, but red hair? Adrian. Yeah. So there's a few definitions. And guys, what I love about branding is there's no official definition for branding. Whatever resonates with you, whatever you want to define it, whatever way that makes sense for you and how you can understand it, let that be a definition. Here's a few that I love. Branding is a subconscious feeling people get when they come in contact with your business. That's one. We did a session late last year, where one of the participants had an excellent definition. Her definition was, let me make sure I can get this. Branding is I don't want to butcher it. Branding is the unspoken representation when you're not in the room. I love that one. You got to tell her that one for me too, Chelsea, because I put that one in my pocket like I said I was. And my personal favorite, branding is the emotional clarity that exists between your product or service and your audience. Whichever resonates with you, whichever you want to define, this is what branding is at its core.
What was the other one?
I'm sorry?
What was the other one?
Which one? The first, second, third? Second one? Branding is the unspoken representation when you're not in the room. And that was from one of the members just like you guys. And I was like, I'm just gonna swipe that one. All right, let's have a little fun. Can anybody tell me, Rocco, you're excluded. Can anybody tell me what comes to mind with that first red and yellow?
MasterCard.
Okay. Anything else? Ferrari?
McDonald's.
McDonald's? Okay. So you got MasterCard. That's good, Kaylee. That's good. Callie. It was actually McDonald's. I love the MasterCard one. It's probably because of how close they were together too.
Yeah,
So,
that was the first thing.
yep, absolutely. Excellent, excellent. Just do it. Nike. Ta-dum. Netflix. Can anybody tell me what this product is? Heinz ketchup. Guys, think about how great at marketing and branding, how consistent you have to have been, that somebody can come in contact with just one touch point of your brand and you automatically know what it is. Just colors, MasterCard, McDonald's. Just do it. Immediately Nike. That one sound comes on. It's like PTSD, almost kind of reminds me of the Microsoft Teams meeting. Like, just one sound, one unique sound, one unique outline. Guys, this is just one point of contact with a brand, just one. Sound, it could be audible, visual. And the takeaway that I want to have for that is building a brand is like compound interest. You really don't see it working until one day it's undeniable.
Some of those brands that you mentioned, a lot of times those brands that everybody just talking about that we can just see and be like, know what it is, because it's in our face every day.
Yeah.
And like we just started, so the only reason why it's competitive. So when you see it over time, it's subconscious, so you just automatically know the brands that just coming out. We got to get to that point where it's out there. And so
how do you get to that point? I got you. How they got to that point, when you think about these businesses, right? When you want somebody to search something on the web, what do you tell them to do? Google it. When you want somebody to pass you a tissue, what do you say? Pass me a what? Okay. When you want to call for a ride-sharing app, what do you say? Uber. The point and the goal should be to become synonymous with the industry leaders in that particular space. These brands have done it so well that they can substitute their name for the actual thing. And you know exactly what they're talking about. Google, Kleenex, Uber, Sharpie, Post-it, Velcro, Airbnb. You can go on and on and on. That is how you build a brand that people constantly think of. The fourth definition that I will say, it is that branding is a bunch of small, integrative pieces done consistently over time. The major points being small, consistent, over time. That is the only way that you get to that point. If you cannot check those boxes, it's not your color palette. It's not your logo. Those things are a part of that ecosystem, but that's not it. This slide is extremely important because the main thing that I just mentioned was small, integrated. If you go on somebody's website, if you go on somebody's business card, if you go on their social media, and they do not communicate the same thing, you may not be able to psychologically know, but you will feel it. You may not be able to describe it, but your experience will be disjointed, and you won't even know why. If somebody goes onto your website and it's entirely different colors than what they see on your social media, that's a fragmented, disjointed experience. And why that is so terrible is because, again, it's not something that people can vocalize, but they feel it. And we already talked about the importance of feelings. People make decisions when they feel things, whether it's subconscious or not. And if you provide people an experience that is disjointed and fragmented, it's not consistent, it's not uniform, they will bounce.
So like, you said that in the last class, and I did have a question when it came to like a brand. When you think of like Wendy's, you have Wendy's, who we know, and with the red logo. Then you have Wendy's on Twitter. And Wendy's on Twitter is very snarky. And
I love it. I actually have one of those. I'm sorry. Can continue.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So when you're going to the different platforms, it's like there's a personality for Wendy's.
Sure.
On Twitter.
Right.
That doesn't exist when they market Wendy's and we see commercials
Sure.
or other advertisements.
Okay.
Unless they're doing collabs with something like
Sure.
a television show.
Sure.
The Addams Family or something.
Right.
Like that one stands out to me where it feels different, but it still works.
Is this a question?
It's a question. Like,
Sure.
how do you find, because as a marketer, when you're looking at different platforms,
Sure.
they allow you to flex different muscles. Like what
Correct.
you would say on Twitter, you wouldn't necessarily.
That's the question I had for you. Do you show up on Twitter the same way you show up on Facebook? Okay. Why?
The question is, why?
Because people are going there for different things.
I would also say it's different demographics too, different age demographics. Did a study
No, good.
and SMU did some adjunct studies, and it talked about which age demographic gravitates to which platform. So, for instance, there were some millennials in the cohort.
Chelsea.
They said, "I'm not going to do Facebook.
Can you make sure that's
I'm gonna
recorded?
be
Oh,
on
we're good.
The same social platform my mom or my uncle."
That's right.
So they would do something other, like X or something of that nature. So there's some more in-depth study that you need to do in terms of demographics, because they gravitate and they appeal to a different age group, but they might all fit the same profile, but just from an age. So you have to break it down even further to make sure. So that's maybe why the message is slightly different, because it's a different. You're not going to talk the same to me as you would with
Absolutely.
It's like 25.
I'll take it a step further. Good communication is tailored. And branding is ultimately communication. It's how you package and sell what it is that you do in a way that resonates with a particular person, right? That's the ultimate goal of good marketing and branding. Good communication is always tailored. To his point, you're not going to speak to, this goes for any presentation. You start with who's going to be in the room. What is the education level? What are their fears? That in itself dictates your entire presentation. If somebody's a little bit more fearful, do you think you want to start out with fear? No, you might want to start out with inspiration and hope. It starts from your audience. The platforms have different audiences. Find an older demographic on Facebook, more of a younger minded crowd, or a younger demographic on Twitter. You tailor accordingly. Doesn't mean that you're showing up inauthentic, right? You're tailoring your messaging. That's all that piece is. Wendy's snaps back. It's part of their brand voice and personality. And that may show up differently on commercial than it does on the platform. The question that you want to ask yourself, is it consistent? I love that question, thank you. So yeah, same business, 3 different identities. Guys, you have to show up uniform across any place where a customer can come in contact with who you are. I'll give you an example. At Signature Style Media, we offer a premium service. If you call my personal cell phone, and I got one of my favorite movies is Bad Boys. One of my favorite lines from Mike Lowry is, he answers the phone and says, "Yo, you on the mic with Mike." I do that with my friends all the time. If you're a prospective business owner, you give me a call and you hear that doesn't reflect very premium. Even just you calling my personal cell phone doesn't reflect very premium. You call my business line, you get an automated receptionist that asks you what line. Now, they all lead back to me. I'm gonna give you the game. They all lead back to me. I'm sales, I'm customer service, I'm marketing, I'm branding, I'm the whole 9. But it gives you the same perspective and aesthetic of a bigger business. Every touch point with your customers has to be uniform. The second that it's not, you're playing a dangerous game. What we covered. Branding is a subconscious feeling that people get. It's not your logo, it's not your colors. Iconic brands are built through consistency and repetition. Fragmentation kills trust. One brand, one identity, every place. I'm sorry? Go
I
back.
just said one band.
Oh, one band, one sound. I love that movie too. One band, one sound. Shout out to Drumline, man. What happened?
My daughter's in EK right now. We understand that very well. But it's an anecdotal story, but it is. When you talk about the brand of an HBCU band, right?
Right.
A band period. They teach that in high school, one band, one sound.
Absolutely.
And that proliferates through every level of wherever your child may or whoever you are and they play. But it is. But that's the notion is one band, one sound. And everybody uses that to describe what they would like your experience to be.
Correct.
With their band.
Right. Even further, what happens if one instrument live is not in alignment with everybody else?
You can tell.
You can hear it.
Novice person can tell.
You can hear it. Even a novice person, somebody that has no experience, that's not musically inclined to the slightest degree, can tell. And I'm glad you missed, because that is the greatest. I love that little chain effect. That is the greatest, probably the best example that you can have. One band, one sound. If the smallest one instrument of an entire band is not in alignment, you can tell. And that is the same feeling that you get when somebody comes across a fragmented experience with your brand. Perception always wins. The art of positioning. This is my absolute favorite topic, positioning. And it's extremely important. So when you look at the functions of a business, right? You have management and planning, you've got marketing, you've got sales, you have operations, you've got finance and accounting, you've got research and development, legal, right? You've got all of these different functions of a business. Do you know where most local service-based businesses, this is what we see all the time and what we work with, where they spend majority of their time, what particular function they spend majority of their time? I'm gonna give it to you again. You got management and planning, you've got marketing, you've got sales, you've got operations, you've got finance and accounting, research and development, HR, legal. Where do local service businesses spend majority of their time? What business function? Operations. Operations. Majority of local service businesses are so fixated on providing a better product and a better service. And what we have to spend so much time educating on, operations is fourth on that list, guys. Somebody might not even get a chance. You might not even get a chance to do the thing that you're in business for if you neglect those other three. Bonus tip, good marketing and sales makes operations so much easier. There are people in your industry dominating that are half as talented as what you do and the service you provide. And that is a very harsh reality that we often have to communicate to local service businesses. Spend all your time in operations, neglect marketing and sales, you will feel it.
Facts.
The biggest misconception is a good service will sell itself. You believe that if you want to. You will be the world's best kept secret. Positioning changes all of that, guys. My favorite absolute quote given by Jared Rains. Positioning isn't about changing what it is that you do. It's about changing the way people perceive what you do. That's an important element there because it doesn't take anything other than intentionality. That's it. If you ever heard people say, there's not enough demand for what it is that I do? No, there's nothing there. There's enough demand. Sure, every industry is saturated. There's not an industry today that doesn't have a bunch of players in it. If you started entrepreneurship, I'm sure you had so many friends or naysayers that came in and said, oh, that's saturated. It's saturated. It's saturated everywhere. We're people. We're everywhere. Doing all kinds of different things. There's no industry that's not saturated at this point. If you're worrying about market saturation, entrepreneurship is not the game that you want to be playing. My price is too high. How many people can't afford me? How many of us have said that? I know when I started out, that's what I was saying. I can't get people to pay the price. My price is too high. No, your price isn't too high. You're not positioned accordingly. Want me to prove this? Think of any industry that you want. Any industry that you want, there's tiers. You can just think of 3 levels. You got budget, mid-market, premium, or exclusive. Any of these tiers and markets can work, guys. It's just a matter of being intentional about which one you want to occupy. Fitness, to me, is the best one because it's the most universally understood one. Okay? Got Planet Fitness. I'm sure everybody's heard of that. We'll take something mid-market like Lifetime. Hell, I don't even know if they mid-market anymore, but everything is so high. And then we got Equinox. Sports. Got the NCAA, international, got overseas playing. You ever heard somebody say playing in China? Got the G League, got the NBA. There's tiers in every industry, guys. My absolute favorite to drive this point home. Guys, there's tiers for water. The most widely abundant universal solvent to ever exist, there's tiers for. To the point to where I can sell you something that you can go out and find almost anywhere. They have found out a way to segment and position and differentiate. Water. I want us to stay with the fitness example. Planet Fitness, Lifetime, and Equinox, all different tiers. How might you position Planet Fitness versus Lifetime versus Equinox, which is a more exclusive one? How would you think about that? How would you approach it? I'll give you a little bit of a starting point. They're targeted towards different demographics and individuals. Those individuals, even the metrics are different. Not only do they think differently, even the data is different. Planet Fitness, entry level. What comes with being entry level in the fitness space?
You don't have to get ready to go to the gym. With Planet Fitness, you can just go where you are. Like some people go to a gym to get ready to go to the gym because everybody's like super fit. With Planet Fitness, you can just come as you are.
Come as you are. I love it.
It's gonna be okay.
I love it. Come as you are. What other kind of demographics or things might run into at Planet Fitness? Come as you are. Love it.
They advertise the women a lot, especially mothers.
They advertise the women a lot? Okay. Didn't know
They
that.
have children's centers.
Okay. Children's centers. Okay. Okay.
I want you to make noise and do all the.
I'm sorry, that's.
Okay. Like excite. Okay. It kind of gets you excitement and any.
Where you are in your fitness journey, I happen to be a certified personal trainer, and a lot of these gyms will target people based on where they are in the fitness journey. Meaning, if you're someone that's just used to walking around the parking lot, and now you want to go in and do something inside, don't really want to do a lot of resistance training, but you want to do something a little bit above that,
Right.
then that's your fitness. Because if you notice the way they market, there's a lot of treadmills and a lot of cardio-based equipment in the facility. A lot of the equipment is instructional. It's color-coded. So you know exactly what muscle group you're working. As you matriculate, you get a little more educated, a little more serious about your workout, about your fitness journey. Then you start looking at other alternatives because that's no longer it doesn't suffice for where you are. It doesn't fit the emotion of where you want to be.
I love that piece of it because it, again, reaffirming an entire model is derived and built from who it is that you serve. If you do not know who you serve, you cannot build out the rest of your business. They set up equipment. Hey, we're going to have 10, 15 treadmills because we know people in Planet Fitness are not 9 times out of 10. Guys, do you know Planet Fitness? What is their membership fee? It's the cheapest.
It's like $10,000. No, it's not $10,000.
Little, everything high these days, right?
So I actually went into one a few months ago. Just wanted basic workout.
Yep.
But then I got in there and there was so much they didn't have. I said, do you have a pool?
Right.
Do you have classes I could do? And I'm like, no, it's just
So-
Yeah, well,
so-
yeah, I had been at 24-hour fitness. And I said, okay, well, I'm just in town. I was out of town. I was in town for a few months.
Right.
That's fine. I said, but what am I going to be charged if I decide
Sure.
when I leave?
What was that?
Nothing, just let us know. And whereas with the other gym,
Yeah.
it's like an act of Congress to try to get out of your contract.
I see, right. So what I love about Planet Fitness, the interesting story, they charge like $15. I don't know if that's still the same, but we're just gonna go with that as a baseline, right? For contrast, I'm grandfathered in at Lifetime, I pay $120 a month. People at Equinox, which is exclusive, they paying like $250, $300.
But they bring you warm towels while you work out.
Hey, we gonna get to that point, right? So, ooh. Chelsea, how do I don't know. Hopefully it just can turn it back on. So the thing that, appreciate it. So for Planet Fitness, beginner friendly and focused, right? If we want to just talk about the demographic side, guys, these are going to be people that are overweight. What I love about it, interesting story, they charge $15. And the reason why they're so cheap, guys, they know their numbers so well. We talk about knowing numbers and demographic on the quantitative side, right? They know that 80% of the people that sign up for their membership are not going to come back, and they're going to forget to cancel. An interesting story is that if 20% of the people on their actual participant list came to the gym, they'd be over capacity. 20, a fifth. But when you know your data and you know the psychographics that much, these companies are paying for your information so that they can make decisions like this. Yeah, we can keep the capacity limit at 500, even though we have 2,000 members, because they know that they're not going to show up, they're going to cancel their membership. The takeaway I want you to understand with that is that this is how you build out your business. Know your numbers, your demographic data, know how they think, how they behave, and then you can build out your entire model from there. Before we move on, the other piece of it, I don't know, because we got to get moving here. Messaging. The way you talk to somebody at Planet Fitness is not going to be the same way that you talk to somebody at Lifetime or Equinox. You said, what was the term that you, was it easy? It wasn't easygoing. It was like you belong, like come as you are.
Yes.
That's inclusive.
Yes.
You think Equinox's message is going to be come as you are?
Absolutely not.
I promise you it's not. You know why you add a gate to a community? What does exclusivity do?
Keep people out.
What does keeping people out do?
Makes you feel special because you're in.
I'll give you a step further. It's simple supply and demand. Limit the supply, increase the demand. You can charge more. Just by adding a gate to make something a closed gated community. Same thing as with Equinox. The funny thing when I visited Equinox, them people in there, I didn't know what I expected to see. But these are your C-suite execs. Not a nan lick of them have any muscles in that gym. Not one. Not one. You're in there with people whose values are likely just, I just want to come home to my kids. I want to keep myself in pretty decent condition. You go to your Lifetime or your LA Fitness and you see people that are just absolutely jacked. They work in sales. But that's knowing who you're marketing to. Those C-suite execs will pay $300 a month just so they don't have to come in contact with the regular, typical, everyday person. That's what they value. Understand your audience. Tailor your messaging to that audience. You either control your positioning or the market assigns one for you. Pick. Pick. Who do you want to serve? I chose premium. I can sell less and I can charge more. Any model can work. You just have to work it properly. We talked about water. If this can't drive this point home, guys, I don't know what else will. There is nothing differentiated about water. They have made it to where you, whatever pH balance, whatever it is that they want to sell you on, there are no key core differentiation or differentiated things with water. It's water. So y'all telling me I got bad taste buds then. Okay, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on with that one. Oh, yeah. But premium pricing is a positioning decision, not a product decision.
You started something.
I did, right? But yeah, guys, the takeaway here, make sure what you're charging, make sure everything is in alignment. You cannot charge premium if you look like budget. It's just not going to happen. And you will have those signals. If somebody's not willing to pay the price for what it is that you offer, they do not see the value. You have not differentiated yourself or created enough value for your brand to be able to charge, in that person's mind, to be able to charge accordingly. So we cover positioning as a choice. Own your tier, the market decides for you. Same product commands wildly different prices based on how it's positioned. And premium pricing is a position decision, not a product decision. Look the part. Differentiation, why you specifically? Skip the example. Guys, customer service and quality are not differentiation. These are borderline, baseline expectations are if you are in business. If you are in business, it should be a standard for you to provide good customer service and quality. That's why you got into business, guys. Nobody goes into business and says, I'm gonna provide a poor quality experience for somebody. These are not things that differentiate you and separate you, okay? Real differentiation is something a competitor cannot copy and paste onto their website and have it still be true. Guys, these are value propositions. What does somebody get from doing business specifically with you that they can't get from a competitor? This is my second favorite piece of it. What do you provide that other people in your space cannot mirror, they can't mimic? It has to be one of these things. When we talk about value propositions, it needs to be in three things. You serve a particular niche that is unique and specific, that only you serve or very few in that space serve. You own a specific process that only you can deploy, or you have a specific result that only you can bring. Your value proposition needs to be in one of these three things, and you should have multiple ones. The more that you can have, the more exclusive and standout that you can be. But you need to have at least one, because this is your messaging material and your answer for when somebody asks, what makes you special? We help X achieve Y by Z without this. Customer service and quality are table stakes, not your differentiator. If a competition can copy it, it's not differentiation. Find what is uniquely yours, and there's three paths to your value proposition that you can take. Own a niche, own a process, or own a result. Marketing funnel, probably my third favorite. I know you're familiar with the marketing funnel, but that's the best way to do this. Who all is not familiar with a marketing funnel? What's that? One? It's no shame, Okay. Anybody want to describe what a marketing funnel is? We'll take a shot. Got prizes. You already got one. So, anybody want to give it a shot? It's one of those things that's kind of hard to describe. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's one of those things. You know what it is, but it's hard. It really is kind of hard to describe. No, nobody want to take a stab?
I'll take a stab.
Yeah. Let's go, Rocco.
I mean, it's something that captures it's like a process, and it starts with capturing the attention of a prospect, and then they may click on a button, and then that button takes them to a landing page, and then from that landing page they may see something, and then they subscribe to a newsletter or something. I don't know.
Sure.
But it's kind of like a sequence that they go through in order to convert a prospect.
Oh, let's see here. Let's give you, I don't know how much it's going to be for the M&A guy, but Awesome. Appreciate that. So what you initially described was a type of funnel. But the word that I love that you used was a sequence. Guys, a marketing funnel is a structured process that somebody goes through when they first come in contact with your brand, all the way to them being a final customer and end user of your product or service. And it is the most powerful marketing tool that you can have because it lets you know where in that process, where in that funnel. When we hop on discovery calls with our clients, this is what we use to evaluate. And it's broken up into 3 components. You have top of funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel. We keep it real simple. Top of funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel. At the top of the funnel, it's just awareness. I actually like to go a layer beneath that because what precedes awareness is unawareness, right? If nobody knows who you are, you have an awareness problem, or we call it a visibility problem, right? You don't need to worry about if somebody likes you or somebody trusts you if you can't even get eyes on you in the first place, right? It's kind of like you don't need to worry about operations if you don't have any marketing or sales, okay? Awareness is about generating visibility, getting people to come in contact and just know what it is that you offer or sell, right? Consideration. This is the piece where you deepen that relationship, okay? Conversion. This is about removing hesitation, removing objections. We talked about using, in our marketing, removing friction, right? Removing hesitation and objections before people ask. What's important to know about this marketing funnel is that the content that you leverage and put out at awareness cannot be the same at consideration or conversion. Somebody that just comes in contact with your brand needs different type of information, different formats of marketing than somebody who already knows and trusts what you put out. You're not going to go, if I put on a podcast on my YouTube channel, you never have heard of me before, are you gonna watch that podcast? No. But if you put together a short promo, 15 seconds, short form reel of that podcast, and I say something interesting, do you think you might be inclined to check out the long form version of it? One of those is a promo reel, top of funnel. The long form would be the actual YouTube video itself, middle of the funnel. And now let's say I have a class. I'm a big M&A guy. And I'm talking about how you can be in this space and make $2 million each year selling only 2 to 3 deals. That's my bottom of the funnel. Do you think somebody's gonna come up and wanna purchase my course and they just learned who I am? No. That is the importance of a marketing funnel. You need to have content at all 3 stages. You need to have content that drives visibility. You need to have content that makes people like and consider you amongst different competitors. Why should I choose you over somebody else in this space? And you need to have content that makes you feel like, hey, this is the right decision. One final example of this, when we go on Amazon, we're gonna remove this top layer because people that go on Amazon with the intention to purchase, right? So we're gonna remove that top layer. You're not scrolling past that first page, let's be honest. You're looking for a product or service, right? What are you doing? What are the features? What does this have? I'm looking for a blender. What does this blender have that this other blender doesn't? Looking at what? That's bottom. Looking at the products and features. Okay, this one's got this one's got that. Pricing. You're comparing and contrasting. When you have finally decided on which particular model that you like, that you think you want to go with, what do you do next? Look at the reviews. I don't know about you guys, but when I look at reviews, I am already sold in my head. The only thing that will prevent me from pulling that trigger is if I see a whole bunch of 1 stars and say, oh, this is terrible. Stay away, do not purchase. And then you go back through the process again. The only thing you have to do at that last phase is not lose me. I've already made it up in my head I'm gonna purchase. I just need to see a whole bunch of 5 stars. And then the top 3 are just like, oh, it was magnificent. Click, you got me. That's your marketing funnel, guys. This is your best evaluation tool for your business. Where are you struggling at? If you ain't driving visibility, you ain't got to worry about these. If you're driving visibility and you're not converting, you're stuck here. If people are getting all the way down to the point where they're just like, yeah, man, like I was going to go with you, but you got a bottom of the funnel problem, okay? Most small businesses only create conversion content. Here's my course. Here's my service. Here's my product. Purchase, purchase, purchase. I love that quote. He's like, brother, I don't know you, man. I don't know you. I don't know what you do. I don't know what makes you different. I don't know any of those things. You have to have all of that content. Same thing here. This is exactly what not to do. Buy now, 50% off. You want to do this about 25% of the time, guys. Here's what we covered. Not knowing the problem you solve, speaking to everyone instead of your ideal client avatar, inconsistent branding that kills trust, no clear positioning, letting the market decide for you ultimately, and only feeding the bottom of the funnel. Now we get to do it ourselves. So